Hi there, this is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James.
And tonight I'm going to be following up on our show from last Wednesday where I talked about being objective and how important it is to be objective and why we're not objective. And tonight I'm going to talk about, are you shocked by people's denial? Of course not yours. No. And why you shouldn't be shocked, that is. So this is going to be fun tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. But before we get into the show, I'd like Sweet Baby James to introduce you.
Well, welcome to Grow, otherwise known as Granny Rocks Our World, where Granny, Beth Green, shares her wit, her wisdom, and her very uncommon sense every Monday and Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So stay tuned and keep coming back. So over to you, Granny.
Thank you, honey. Well, we already have a message from Elizabeth who says, hi, I'm here with Luann, though we're on the road. Oh, I hope that means Monday on the road. Coming back from something, going to something. How exciting. Anyway, okay. So this is something I've just been thinking about for the last few days, actually, since our last show. So I've been thinking about denial. And Island says, here. Okay, that's like in school, right? I'm here,
present,
present, that's it. Okay, so let's look at something that includes denial. Because I'm going to be talking about cults tonight, so be ready for that. Climate change is devastating our world, it's obvious, and yet many people still deny it, or they deny that it was caused by human activity. Air pollution, toxic chemicals, toxic water, sugar are ruining our health, yet some still won't stop the behaviors that give rise to them, but they won't even acknowledge that that's the case. Amy says, love seeing you two. As always, I'm sure not shocked by my denial. That is very cool. Now, so when I was talking last time about what it means to be objective and why it's important, I talked about the ability to see different perspectives and to integrate them. Like integrate the perspective of the ant with the perspective of the eagle and bring that to that highest level, be able to look at it honestly, and you will get a very much more objective view. But most of us don't seem to be able to do that. And we have, Todd says, not shocked at all. Hi there, Todd. And Patricia says, hola desde Argentina, muchos saludos, which means hello from Argentina, greetings. Well, greetings to Argentina. So when I started thinking about this more, I came to a rather shocking perspective. There's the shock word again, which is that we refuse to be objective because we are caught in denial, and we're stuck in denial because almost all of us live in cults. Oh no, that's not fair. We know what a cult is. A cult is, what was his name, Jim Jones, where you drink Kool-Aid, you follow him, you give him all your money, and you drink Kool-Aid. Well, that's exactly what we're doing, aren't we? We're following leaders who have not confronted climate change, and we are drinking the Kool-Aid, and we don't even see that we're in a cult. That's so isn't that interesting? Well, okay. So by a cult, I don't mean okay. So all right. So Patricia says, "Algo entiendo, lo sigo." Oh, I think she's saying that she's going to try to follow us. I hope so. And Larby says, hello to all of you. I hope you are fine, and I hope you have a good day. I am fine. I can't wait to get into this topic. Okay. So as I said, I don't mean by a cult, a group that supports one person and gives him or her all their money. I mean it's a closed system of thought from which it is hard to escape. Now, let's look at what I mean by, aren't we all in cults? Really? Honestly? So here's a system of thought that a lot of people don't agree with. So I'm starting with them because a lot of people don't agree with them, as opposed to starting with the ones that we all do agree with, which is a bigger cult. Island says, yes, drinking the Kool-Aid, all right. All right. In Christian Science, for example, my understanding, and I may be ignorant, is that if you are not healed, then you have not prayed correctly, or you haven't prayed enough, or there's something wrong with you. So if something goes wrong, you take it upon yourself. You don't say there's something wrong with the system. Maybe I should go to the doctor. You say there's something wrong with you, and you believe it. Now, I had a plastic surgeon because I've had a lot of skin cancer surgery, and he told me about a woman who was a Christian Scientist, and that the basal cell carcinoma which is a form of skin cancer, had eaten up her nose. And but she was a devout Christian Scientist, and she couldn't face that. Todd says, key definition tonight: cult, a closed system of thought from which it is hard to escape. Helen said, Helen's here. Hi, Helen. So, okay. So people say, oh, well, those people are crazy, right? Well, wait a minute. Aren't there other religions? Many religions where you say, well, when things go wrong, we are being tested because God is perfect. See, there is this belief, okay, where it's a closed system.
Closed system of doctrines.
Exactly. God is perfect. Okay. So if something goes wrong, it couldn't be God's fault because God is perfect. So it must be me, or it must be you, or we're sinners, or it's original sin, or it's something that we did, or when we're not in the elect, or we're being tested. See, we're being tested. So
this carries over into political ideologies too.
Exactly.
Conservative.
Exactly.
Liberal,
I'm going to get to that in a second, but I don't want to just pick on Christianity. I mean, Orthodox Judaism, many very fundamentalist religions are like that, but it isn't just fundamentalist religions. Any kind of religion that's based itself, many New Age religions are the same. God is perfect, and so am I, and so how do I explain away the imperfection of the world? So these are closed systems. Now, as you said, James, it happens with political systems. So if you happen to be a supporter of Donald Trump, anything that exposes him either as lying, being self-dealing, maybe being foolish or something,
or corrupt,
must be coming from some conspiracy, because you've already decided that he is telling the truth, and he has created a following of people who believe him and who support him, and there it is. And so anybody who speaks out of turn is the enemy. Well, we see it on the other side. It just happened with Hillary Clinton and Tulsi Gabbard, who Hillary Clinton doesn't approve of Tulsi Gabbard's views, and she's saying, oh, she's a Russian troll or something like that. You know, you don't look at what the person is saying. You don't want to see the evidence. You want to believe. You believe. You want to believe. Now I'm going to get into the why you want to believe. So we automatically disparage what critics say, and we defend our candidate, our person, our party, our family, or whatever. We all wear blinders. You know, somebody says, so-and-so cheated me, and you said, oh my God, that was terrible. Well, we don't even know that so-and-so did cheat you, do we?
No.
But we're already, and we're on Facebook gathering people to support us. Now, we all wear blinders. Every piece of information that we get is slotted into an already existing paradigm, system of thought. Todd said, love that you are showing how it happens all over. Thank you, Todd, because it does. It really does. Now, I'm going to raise something silly. Well, it isn't silly, actually. It's kind of pathetic. Women have to wear bras. It's the bra cult, James.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now you may say, "No, I'm going to wear a sports bra, or I'm going to wear an underwire, or I'm going to wear a soft one, or I'm going to wear the." But why? Because women's breasts have to be perky. Now, why is that? Did anybody ever tell you really why women's breasts have to be perky? But we grow up in a society that shows women looking like this, and that's it. I mean, that's the model of everything.
So that becomes the closed system of thought and belief.
That's right. Or you walk around hanging out because that's your rebellion against that closed system of beliefs. Island says, yes, it happens all over. Thank you, honey. Now, even a social economic system can be a cult. You can question anything, but you can't question capitalism. I mean, capitalism is obviously the best form of economic system ever created. So maybe you'll say, oh, well, we shouldn't have so many greedy capitalists. We should have ungreedy capital. What the hell is a not greedy capitalist? Why is anybody putting their money out to make money and having people, working for them and trying to amass a fortune? We say, oh no, greedy capitalists are bad, but then there's the good capitalists. Well, maybe it's not true. Now, I'm not saying that socialism works either, not what we've seen. Nothing that I've seen works. Okay, you can believe, for instance, you can believe in the Cuban Revolution because it supported the people, the peasants. It was made up of people who were rebelling against, the Yankees, right?
And the dictatorship.
And the dictatorship. But what happened when the Cuban Revolution came down on gays? Did you overlook that? Were you looking the other way, right? So the question is, I think you're seeing it. It's so pervasive. Why do we do it? Why do we do this? Why do we all belong to cults and only recognize the cultishness in the other guy? Like, oh, those Trump supporters, they'll believe anything. Well, what about us, So
yeah, what about the Bernie supporters, the Biden supporters,
exactly,
the Warren supporters?
Exactly. We're like, whatever it is, we're exactly, Jane. So first of all, one of the reasons we do it is because something may have worked once. So for example, let's say you've been a hopeless alcoholic, you to go to an AA meeting, you're struck dumb by the higher power, and you all of a sudden you find yourself getting sober. Well, now the AA becomes a cult. Oh, people in AA would kill me if they heard me say this. Well, I remember those days. Now, I don't know that it's like this anymore. It probably isn't. But you shouldn't go to therapy. No. Because the only thing that you could believe was what was in that big book. It's like saying the Bible. It's fundamentalist AAism, right? Don't try this. Don't talk about other addictions. Don't try therapy. Don't use antidepressants. Don't and it was like that. It was a closed system. And if you did, you were in trouble, you were stepping out. Well, my God, what's going to happen to me if I don't do what the group says because it helped me once or helped me in some big way? Okay, some people do that with religion. They get sober through some born again religion, and it's like, oh my God, they're wedded to it. They can't even think again. Okay, another reason we do this is because we feel safer in a world of blacks and whites, and I don't mean skin color. We feel safer in a world of blacks and whites than in a world where we have to think. We weren't trained to think. We were trained to follow, because the powers that be would rather have us follow than think, because if we think, we might overthrow some of this nonsense that we're stuck in, right?
That was the genesis of public education, just to train people to be workers.
That's how true it is. Now, another reason that we are like this and that we do this is because our social groups tend to have the same perspectives and keep reinforcing our beliefs, right? I mean, who do you hang out with? People who really you fundamentally disagree with? Or do you tend to clump yourself with people who have a similar perspective? Well, I know who I clump with. I don't want to sit there and get indigestion every time I listen to somebody talking racist things. I don't like that, or anti-gay stuff. I don't want to hear that. So we're constantly reinforcing each other, and in fact, as we know, social media has really contributed to that because they keep feeding us, oh, these are the articles you like, and so you're going to get more. And so before you know it, you're not thinking anything that's outside the box because you're boxed, right? Now, talking about being in social groups, I'm going to get to that in more detail in a minute, but I want to say that Our beliefs are embodied by people whom we depend on or we think we depend on. So, oh, these are my friends. So, like, oh, it's so cool to wear your pants, right above your knees. But that is so cult-like, isn't it?
It is.
It's like, and I don't know if the police are chasing you. Can you run with your pants down? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying?
With great difficulty.
So with great difficulty. So we are constantly around people we feel we depend on, and if they carry that belief system, we don't even allow ourselves to think anything different. Like, gee, maybe I should go to school. And because we are brainwashed. I mean, we are brainwashed from the moment that our consciousness hits the planet. We are being told what to think. As my mother used to say, it just isn't done, Beth. It just isn't done. It just isn't done. How do you know that the Aborigines don't do it? Why are you saying that it just isn't done? Maybe, your social group didn't do it, but maybe other social groups do it. But anyway, see, we're brainwashed and our public school system is a system of brainwashing where we are taught what we are supposed to be taught, and so that we don't have a lot of objectivity or thinking. Some people, God bless them, are out there teaching students how to think for themselves, and thank God for them. But it's really, really difficult because who wrote the history books? Who wrote the history books? The history of the kings and the queens and all of that stuff, right? And the political histories. Now, and the economic histories. Oh, we know bad communism, capitalism, democracy, totalitarianism, all of these things. And we think we have it nailed, right? And then the truth is we go from one cult to another and we don't even realize it. The club we were in the 4th grade, our friends in the playground, right? It's a cult of people. It's a closed system. Let's say there's one person in that little group who is the leader. Well, don't go against that leader because you're going to get thrown out, right? Our fraternity, our school, our family, our race, our belief system, each is a closed system with rewards and punishments. And the reward is maybe some small security, and the punishment is being alone. And we know that being alone is equivalent to death. I mean, nobody really can live alone. And we have a visceral feeling of, oh my God, I'm in danger. We live in an area, there are bears, walking down the street, or there's cougar out there, not to speak of the meth addicts and all of those, and then James, and me, so we're all dangerous. Anyway, being alone is frightening, and it really hits us on a very gut level that it's death. So we will do anything to try to convince ourselves that our cult is actually right, because we don't want to be out there by ourselves. And sometimes we do feel that need, but then we have to join some other cult to make us feel better. I mean, I saw it in the 60s, free love, and free love wasn't free. There was a lot of cost to that. But, we're rebelling against all those stupid, parents. Yeah, but we were stupid kids. We're all reinforcing that. And so belonging to these closed systems of thought makes us stupid. It does. Because we can't allow ourselves to think. I mean, you look at a cult and you say, how could they have done that? Well, how could we? We are required to be in denial. Because once there is a chink in the fence and you start looking out at the world, whoa! You begin to see the possibility of other belief systems. That's why travel is such a healthy thing for people if they don't carry their cult with them. And they go out and see there is other ways to think, there's other ways to organize society, other ways to treat other people, other ways to treat the environment. So, there is possibility that there are really other ways. But if we are blowing a hole in the belief system that threatens everybody in our cult, they're not going to like it. So, and as I mentioned, we could be alone, and that's not good. So then we look for a different religion, a different ideology, a different belief system to make us feel safe again. So that's the situation, guys, and it's very dire. It is very dire. We still have people defending the fact that profit comes before people. We still have people defending the dumping of toxic chemicals into the earth, even though it's making our children stupid because they're getting these chemicals. We are still defending going after jobs that are going to be, removed by automation. We don't want to know what Andrew Yang is telling us. We don't want to hear anything. It's just too scary. So what I'd love you to do is to think about what closed belief system you belong to. You walk down the street and you put salt over your shoulders and you'll be fine. And no matter how many times you put salt over your shoulder and you haven't been fine and you still got cancer, you're still going to cling to that belief that if you because God knows how bad it might be if you didn't put salt over your shoulders. Right? So think about a closed belief system that you belong to. Can you recognize it for what it is? Do you dare stand alone if you have to? And do you dare try to get other people to stand with you if you can? And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm asking everybody to look at this. Todd says that question is a hard one. So much easier to see the other guy, as you said earlier. How true it is. We can come back on Wednesday and you can share your experiences with noticing the cults you belong to, getting honest about it, and seeing why you're still connected to that and still hanging on to it. How do you like that idea? Rather than putting you on the spot right now, trying to figure it out. This is a huge topic because you will notice that whether it's the way you eat, you were brought up with a certain belief system, the way you live, the way you treat other people, the way you treat the earth, the way you treat your own body. Why they're discovering more and more toxic chemicals are coming from women's makeup. Toxic chemicals coming from women's makeup. Or they don't know.
That's why I choose not to be in the women's makeup cult.
Exactly. Somehow or other, I'm so allergic and sensitive. I couldn't wear deodorant or makeup or do any of those things. So I've been saved from some of them. But it's all that stuff. And you say, well, this doesn't hurt, and this doesn't hurt, and this doesn't hurt. It all hurts. Because in the end, we are ruining our health and we're ruining our brains. But hey, and we've obviously already ruining our planet. So what's not to like? So come back on Wednesday and let's have a very exciting conversation. If you do, if you don't have anything to say, I guess I'll have to talk about something else. But
well, I'd like to hear more about living in an alternative way that's not so cultish.
Okay, well, I will talk about that on Wednesday, living in an alternative way that is not so cultish. I will do that, and I will also ask you to share what you learned about yourself. So Mondays and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, we are here live on Grow. And Todd said, thank you, Granny, and James loved this conversation.
Thank you, Todd.
Would you guys please like and love this show? Would you comment after the show? I always go back and
please share it with others.
And share it with all the people who live in all the cults, which is everybody. Even the cult of not living in a cult. And Thursday nights also, I play the piano and we have live music, or hopefully
Dreams of
Peace at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Soothes the soul.
So come on back and let's build a cult of consciousness, shall we? Thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You write a comment, and anytime this week, I will see it and I will respond to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.